Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I just finished some test runs of the Pidgin Party because yesterday Flilfist Junior was 60, no 70, 69, no 70, he was 70, and he had 3 attributes maxed, so it was time for a level up. Endurance was maxed as well, of course, but in order to maximize endurance, to get it to 10 from 9, I thought, well, let's do a Pidgin Party once. I hardly do them. And well, he got bitten a couple of times, and blah, 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 blah. And then Watch medium was up one more, and endurance was at plus 10. So we went inside. It's the Dreamer Ruin, quite close to the curtain. What do you call it? The wall, the guardian wall or whatever, which is still functioning because he didn't do anything. He never ever even met Cassius Cosades or whatever, Cosades, what you say in English. But I noticed that the party didn't have any pigeons in it, so I thought, oh man, did I forget that stub in the 50 fix? But the name of the item was Pidgin Party, no longer Pidgin Feather, and it was a misc item and not an ingredient anymore. So there was something wrong. But inside he did a level up, so his strength is I don't know, 305, endurance 390 now. Unbelievable. Close to 1600 health. 71, man, it's unbelievable, unbelievable. What a giant. He's the mightiest of all. And still he's only 9.5 months in Earth time old, but he's been almost 2 years on Morrowind now, Vardenfell and the Isles, mostly the Isles. So I went to bed after that, after the level up. Oh yeah, I had to do one increment of a main skill. Main is major and minor in my wordings, whatever. My English is still crap, so I'm sorry for that. But it's I think it's better to understand English, my Cringlish, I call it sometimes, Cringlish, because it's quite cringy. But anyway, he did still have one main skill to raise in order to get the level up message. So I added a dancer inside that Dreamer Ruin in Red Mountain area, to the left. It's east or west? West, to the west of Feminol, close to the curtains, a wall or whatever you call it, the barrier. I don't know what you call it. I simply jump over them. Now he simply jumps over those fences, you know, those high things. But he's absolutely brilliant. So I added the dancer, and I had noticed that Mercantile was almost ready to increase. So I knew I did have to do one more, one transaction, successful barter. But of course his personality still is, well, sucks. And I didn't want to do it with raising of charm and whatever, and raising of his skill. I don't even have that spell, raising the skill of mercantile. So I sold her a couple of, I think there were 10. One by one I sold her cheating arrows at the price of 1. And then her disposition was 53 or 2, whatever, 52. And I bought them back. And she suggested 10 gold pieces, and I said, nah, make it 9. And she accepted. And bloom, there was the message. Time to level up. And this time speed was quite close, but didn't make it to 10. But agility had made it to 10, and strength had made it to 10, so maybe in hindsight I could have sneaked while the pigeon cloud was forming, but never mind. I did what I did, and I'm okay with it. So there's a trader now in that Bethanchant or whatever it's called, which is quite dangerous because there are hostiles as well, but there are friendly dreamers, robots, and everything else as well, so you have to be careful anyway. And I made a note, and I planted some flowers at the inside, red flowers, which signify potential danger or alertness. Look at the map, look at the notes. Okay, there's one inside. If I go back there if I don't come back there in 10 levels, those notes still are there. I thought there was something moving on the floor, but it's a shadow. I'm not used to shadows because the sun is shining and it's daylight, and usually at daylight I'm gaming. Morrowind, Azura's Touch, Velvet Junior. But he's 71 now, and I went back outside this morning before breakfast. I didn't have breakfast yet. And indeed there were no pigeons in the swarm. So I finished the swarm, most of the swarm, except for the horrors that were floating, had floated off and were stuck in the environment somewhere. But I decided to look in the stub, in the patch, and there it was. The script was okay. So I ate another Pidgin Party item. With no magical pigeons, and there were the pigeons. No magical S-races, and there were the pigeons. And then I ate another one with the magical races, the dragons and the horrors. And I noticed some pigeons as well, and I kept saying sure, sure, because you have an option now. All the guests have arrived. That used to be the end of the story, but it has a second button now, and that's the button that says sure with a question mark. Okay, that's the spirit, it says, and it pops up another couple of pigeon creatures, party members, party goers. So it's quite crowded, and I had, because 71 It goes quite far. It was an orgy of violence. And there were pigeons as well, and so some of the pigeons may have Pidgin Party items. So I don't have to go back to Sheobath, but I'm on my way to Sheobath. So Sheogorath, Sheo's Oasis. I'm considering renaming that to Sheoasis. But that would mean that any save there will not be loaded properly. But that's only a minor inconvenience because the name is so much better. I think I'll be doing that right now. Next thing. When I go upstairs and finish the game and start modding again, patching again, and stubbing again. And I'm stubbing as a maniac at the moment, because at this level, 70 plus, there is still some challenge, but one thing, I just added spawning werewolves to the nightmare hero scenes, and I must say Junior is quite happy with that, even though his they are mostly hero scene hounds, and they're just one hit and then they're dead. So and I implemented it, so far I implemented that starting from 70 they spawn the really dangerous ones, the stage 3 werewolves. They are way beyond anything the usual hero scene ever throws at a player. So that's the status at the moment. And I think I've got some over 100 corpses to loot now. With one item. One item. That's what you get when you say sure. You answer sure. Are you sure? I want more. I want more. We want more. We want more. Well, you get more. And that's one I made for Ilya, previous hero, still alive, but not really kicking very much, because Levelup Junior is absolutely #1 right now. And I may decide to go to other heroes one day, but for now, this year is his year. And that's the end of this tiny movie, this tiny update in English, Cringlish or Pinglish or whatever. So long, have fun, enjoy, bye bye.
Bye bye.